Good morning, everyone. It's Natalie here. My little stepping stone, isn't it cute? Welcome to my garden, and welcome to my channel. Find joy in the journey. Love, peace, and hope. And it's appropriate that it's over here near my pepper patch. Let me tell you what's going on. I have two pepper plants. At first, it was just that one on the end. It was kind of droopy and wilty. And then the following day, the one next to it started drooping. I'm like, okay, I hope there's nothing wrong, like there's some sort of disease. So I thoroughly checked the leaves. I noticed one was starting to yellow. So what I'm doing is I looked on the internet and looked up some information on wilting pepper plants to see what could be the matter with it. So we had a hard rain that day, and if your plant is thoroughly watered and it's wilty, if it's thoroughly watered and it's a healthy plant and it was thirsty, then it would look spry and healthy like these. But if it's overwatering in pepper plants can cause wilting also. So I deduced that it was overwatered, but I thought, within the time period between that rain and now, that it would have pepped up by now, because when it's overwatered, what you have to do is allow the plant to use the water that it's taken in. So just note that a pepper plant will wilt if it's underwatered and it's thirsty, and it will also wilt if it is overwatered. But also with overwatering, you may see signs in the leaves. I think they're curling, like these are, and also it may even see some yellowing. At first it was just this one plant, and then the one next to it started doing the same. Another thing I noticed is that with this raised bed, it may kind of tilt to the side. So one side, it seemed like it was unlevel. So another thing I did is I added more soil to that side. That's what I'm doing. So it's sort of like when you're doing with the potato plants, you kind of heal up. Well, you just amend your soil and you add extra soil is what I'm doing. And also I saw an article where not really an article, it was a stream or a feed where people were asking questions about their wilting pepper plants, and they were giving each other advice. And one person said to cut off those wilting leaves. They're serving no purpose. Cut off those wilting leaves. And then, I'm going to get a little closer. So that's what I did. The ones toward the bottom, I cut them off. And as you can see, you're not really hurt. They're serving no purpose right now. And as you can see, it regrows. There's one regrowing right above it. So that's what I did on both plants. The little wilted leaves I cut off, and then also the top, you pinch off those little buds at the top. When you pinch off the top, it will promote or what they call it, side shoots. Okay, if you pinch off that top. So I feel like this may be a good solution because, like I said, there's no disease. I checked it thoroughly. There's no disease. The other plants look happy. Okay, so those two things, I'm going to do that, try that. If it doesn't work, then we know I have to remove these plants. They have to be evicted because there could be something wrong. But I want to give it a time to dry out. Want to give it an opportunity to use the water that the plant has already taken in. I'm adding more soil, fresh soil, with all the properties. The peat moss, the perlite, the good potting mix, good balanced fertilizer, all-purpose fertilizer, and the compost cow manure. I've been trying to kind of ease up on the cow manure. But yeah, I did that. Compost cow manure and all of that. And also another thing, I've kind of worked this bed already, But there's a little patch over there that I can actually give you an example. It's called hand cultivating. Why would you hand cultivate? When you have, well, I'll have to do it on this right here because this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. See how it's cakey, or there's like a little crust on the top of the soil here. After a heavy rain, if you don't have your soil protected, because most people do, sometimes I don't, but I think it may be a good idea that I start protecting the soil with some sort of covering, like a mulch. Hopefully you can see. I'm sorry if I'm not aiming. But hand cultivating is basically this. There's a little corner over here I can show you. You come in and see, you just, with your fingers, just kind of break up that soil. Be very gentle around the existing plant. You don't want to harm the roots or injure them. But basically what you're doing is you're just loosening up that soil gently with your fingers. I was also using this little landscaping pen. I was trying to keep my hands clean, so I was doing this. But sometimes I think, especially when I got closer to the plant, I want to use my fingers so I can see exactly how far I'm going, and if I'm touching something that I shouldn't, like I could damage the root. But you do a little hand cultivating and just loosen up that soil. So just to let you know, it looks good now is because I hand cultivated this entire area. But at first, it was just as crusty as what you see here. And so I came in and just gave it a little love, loosened that soil up. Here's a little spot. See, just loosen it up over here. And as you can see, there's actually some bone meal or whatever around it. Okay, see? And look how nice. Like I said, you don't want to, now I may go a little deeper on the areas where nope, the plant isn't. But when I come closer to the plant, I go very gently. So I'm going to smooth that area out. I added soil to this area because I noticed it was lower on this side than the rest of the raised bed. So I did add soil. Hopefully these things will work. If not, I will be out shopping for 2 more yellow bell peppers plants. I don't want to do that. I want to see this one bounce back. I want to see it bounce back. Right here is where those green peppers that I had to take out of that raised bed and put them in their own little containers. And I'm trying to keep all the little peppers together, but I'm gonna have to make room so I can get around, so I can tend to the plants. So they're a little close together right now. Anyway, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go around, and everywhere where my sand is, where my soil is compacted, I will do a little hand cultivating. I just wanted to share that with you about the pepper plants. So, to reiterate, pepper plants will wilt if they're underwater. They will wilt also if they are overwatered. And in this case, I think they were overwatered because of that hard rain. When it rains like that, and it tends to do that a lot in Louisiana, yeah, I have to figure out a way to cover them and protect them. This may be a great time to use those bell cloches. It's just with the bell cloche, if the plant is really tall, then it doesn't cover it properly, and I don't like to mash the plants down. So we'll figure out something to, if I know it's going to rain hard and for a long period of time, I need to protect the plants from overwatering, because they can get waterlogged and just the soil too saturated, and it causes root rot. I did a little short on drainage. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign off now and finish because I'd like to get inside. The wind is a little cool. It's not really cold, but it's cool, and it's aggravating my sinuses. So I'm going to go ahead and get inside. But I'm going to show you again my sweet little stepping stone. Welcome to my garden. And thank you for tuning in. This is Natalie signing off. Find joy in the journey.